What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. So today we're doing another Copart auction results video thanks to autoauctions.io. This is the place you need to go before you buy your next car. Not just auction car, but your next car. Trust me when I tell you, a lot of cars run through these auctions as clean titles, even though they've been ripped apart. So you definitely want to use autoauctions.io in conjunction with your favorite AutoCheck, Carfax, whatever the case may be that you would always use before purchasing a car. You want to use autoauctions.io as well, guys. Link in the description down below. They're going to give you a good deal for being a follower of this channel. So let's go ahead and get started. Number one, that's going to be a 2019 Chevy Impala. You guys remember this one? It's the one that had deer stuff all down the side, right? Here she is. This is what she looked like in case you missed the walk around. Honestly, the car was in relatively good condition. It was a rental car, 40,000 miles on the odometer, so quite a bit of miles for a 2019, but really nothing too crazy when you consider that it is a rental car. I think this one actually has a clean title. I'm totally blown away that it sold for $11,600. It says that the estimated retail value is $20,273. Estimated repair cost is $5,000. So, like, when you think about this, 20 grand is the retail clean title value. Now, right here, it shows that title type is clean. It is a clean California title. So technically, I guess you could still get retail out of this car once you fix it. But honestly, if retail is 20 grand, okay, if that's accurate and retail on this car is 20, you're looking at $11,600 before fees. Okay, after fees, you're probably talking about $12,500, maybe $13,000. And then you've got the repair cost of, well, approximately $5,000. That's $18,000 into a car that's worth 20. I don't see how that makes any sense at all. The only thing I can think is maybe they've got the estimated retail value a little low, or they've got the estimated repair cost a little high. I'm totally blown away by that. Like, why would you pay $18,000 for a car that's worth 20 that's been wrecked, that you have to do all of this work to, or you got to pay somebody else to do the work, and it's high miles? Like, I don't get that. Similar cars look like they've sold for about the same, $12,700 down here, $12,200 right here, $9,100, definitely a little cheaper. There's $7,100 over here. In my opinion, it's just awful expensive for this car, guys. But anyway, moving on. Now, this is one that I know a lot of you were really hoping we were going to bring on the channel. I was really hopeful too. Guys, I kind of lost my mind on this car. I bid this car, honestly, in way higher than I should have because I really wanted it. Now, one of the things I missed is that the tachometer was not working. And that's a sketchy thing because these generations of Corvettes are notorious for the harmonic balancer falling off, like poof, gone. It can cause a lot of damage. Not to mention the ABS was on, the ride control system wasn't working, and that's a part that you can't hardly find. And if you can, from what I understand, it's going to cost you around $1,100 or so just for that part. This car had some problems, so truthfully, I'm glad that I lost it. I'm really glad that I lost it. We still don't know why it was sitting at Copart. What I can tell you is that I bid this car all the way up to where it is now. I bid it up to $6,700. As soon as it hit $6,800, I walked away, and I'm really glad that I did. In case you missed the video, here it is, man. It's been in a few accidents in its day. Its Carfax report was definitely not clean. It is a car that's had some problems. And if I'm not mistaken, I think those wheels, where did they go? Let me see. There they are. Aren't those ZR1 wheels? Like I said, I may be mistaken, but I could swear those look like ZR1 wheels to me. Either way, it was a beautiful car, and it ran well. Remember, the headlights were disconnected for some odd reason. Very strange. Here's the interesting thing: is it says estimated retail value. Again, this is the part that really just kind of confuses me here. Estimated retail value, 11.7, but yet it sold for $7 grand before fees. All right, so you're talking, what do you think, guys? $8 grand after fees? $8 grand after fees for a car that's worth 12, but it's got approximately $8,700 in damage, and we don't know where the damage is. My guess is going to be undercarriage. There's going to be something or a lot of somethings underneath this car that probably got whacked pretty good. No previous sales history. And when you look at this is what blew me away, is when you look at a bunch of these other cars that have similar damage, like this one right here, and this is another thing I really like about autoauctions.io, is you can actually see cars with similar mileage, and you can see what they sold for, and similar damage. Okay, this one's got 74,000 miles, so 25,000 miles less than the one we were just looking at. It's got very similar damage. In fact, it's got the same rims, so maybe those aren't ZR1 rims. Maybe those are actually the factory wheels. This one does have bags deployed, though, so, you know, there's that. But this car sold for $39.50. $39.50. Why in the heck did this one sell for $7 grand? When I tell you guys cars are going for ridiculous prices right now, I'm not even joking, man. Cars are going insanely high. Next is that 2013 Land Rover, Range Rover that we were looking at. The one that I was really interested in, this one too. Unfortunately, I was so busy messing around with that Corvette, I totally let this one slip by. And I guess $7,600 is probably more than I really wanted to pay for this anyway, including the fact that it needed, you know, definitely some front-end work, and there was some hidden damage under here. I think we discovered a broken radiator, a broken condenser. So, you know, it's going to need a little bit of work, but honestly, I don't think this one was that bad. I don't. It just had really high miles, 179,000 miles. So, looking down a little bit further here, estimated repair cost, $7,000. Estimated retail value, $12,600. So, you know, it sold for, I'm going to say, about 83 after fees or so, 83, 85, something like that. Let's just assume it's going to be about 8,500 after fees. And then, you know, you've got to replace the bumper, you've got to replace the crash bar, you've got to replace the condenser, the radiator, and obviously this grill is missing here. I think the fender and everything was okay, and there were no bags blown. This one may have been worth it. Doing it yourself, I think you may have been able to get this one back on the road and made a little bit of a profit on it, possibly. I unfortunately don't know how much Range Rover parts are, but I'm going to guess they're probably a little bit on the pricey side. But if you did it yourself, you could probably turn this one into a decent little profit. And this is one I was surprised that so many of you were actually interested in. Apparently, you don't see very many of these as hybrids. This is a 2005 Honda Civic, and it is a hybrid, and it does run, and it went into gear, and that's about it. It ran very poorly. It was definitely down a cylinder, but it could have been something simple. It could have been a coil or a fuel injector. You know, it may have been nothing serious, or it may have been a cracked piston or burnt valve. You know, it could have been something serious. It's hard to say. It looks like the hybrid system was still functioning on this, so that's a good thing. We got no errors for the hybrid system. I think the thing that kind of worries me the most about these is not the hybrid transmission, the CVT transmission. I've never trusted CVT transmissions. Now, with that said, this car gets in the 40s, city and highway, 40s. So it is a seriously economical car, man, and it looks decent. I think even by today's standards, we can all agree that this car still looks pretty decent. It shows that it's salvage. I don't know why there were, you know, a few bumps and bruises all up, but I didn't see anything wrong with this car that would make me think it deserved to carry a salvage title. Definitely did not run well at all, and it did have some miles, 180,000, which for a Honda really isn't that big of a deal. Looking around, we can see some of the other cars, and you can see these actually go really cheap. $450, $425, $375. In fact, that almost looks just like this one. $100, and it sold for $100. Okay, so This one sold for $375, but obviously the seller decided to decline the bid and they relisted. And it does have a buy it now of $725, and I'm not going to lie, I've definitely considered hitting the buy it now button on it because it's not a bad car, I don't think. And I'd almost be willing to bet if you diagnosed it, changed the coil or a fuel injector, this car would probably be right back down the road, just as reliable as ever. I just personally, I am not interested in doing anything with a hybrid Honda Civic. I don't know, but maybe one of you guys are interested in. If you are, there you go, $725. You can buy it right now, and you don't even have to wait for the auction. You can own it. Next, we've got that 2014 Chevy Ss. The front end was just done on this, man. I don't know, maybe somebody could put it back together. I don't think so. I mean, the whole front end was pushed pretty hard over to the passenger side. This is not a car I would consider putting back together, but this is a car that I think would be perfect for a powertrain swap, a donor car, basically. Engine, good. Trans, good. You could probably use just about everything out from under this car to build yourself something really fun. I don't see putting this car back together, but you never know, man. You never know. Somebody most likely will put this car back together. So let's see, 86,000 miles on the odometer. It says estimated retail value $26,000. Estimated repair cost $21,000. Now, this does have the 6.2. I wasn't aware of that. So this is the same engine that they used in the Corvette. So that's an impressive motor. Like stock form, that is a very, very capable and impressive motor. Looks like it had some exhaust on it as well. If you look at this picture right here, there we go. I don't think that is stock exhaust. It definitely has a cold air intake, so probably a little bit of bolt-ons. Sold for $5,200. In my opinion, for a good powertrain like that, I think that's a good deal. I think that is a good deal. Wait a minute, it says it's active. This is active? So it didn't sell. Interesting. Because I'm not seeing a previous sale history, but this was on last week's auction. Maybe they pulled it and it never actually made it to auction or something. I don't know. Either way, it looks like I thought this was too cheap. I was looking at this thinking, I was like, man, I could use that engine and transmission for something myself for $5,200. That is a really good deal. So obviously we're not to auction day yet, so this price is most likely going to go up. But it is a pure sale, so you can get in on this one right now if you need a powertrain for one of your projects. Next, we have that beautiful 2015 BMW BMW X5. $17,200 sold, guys. Had some rear end damage. Odometer was 70,000 miles. Estimated retail values $25,000. Estimated repair cost $15,000, which is crazy because when you look at the damage, it just didn't look that bad. It didn't look like $15,000 worth of damage, but wow. $25,000 is the retail value and it sold for $17,000. I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you what the fees are on $17,000. I have no idea. So I would be guessing we're probably close to $18,500. Yeah, my guess is going to be around $18,500. And then you've got a Salvage Title X5. Now you can take a closer look if you missed the video. The damage was mostly lower, and I don't think we found any creases in the quarters. I can't remember for sure. Yeah, there was. You can see right there. They labeled it. There was a crease in the pillar right there. So, ooh, unfortunately, there's going to be frame damage under there. Aside from needing that pan replaced and the crash bar and probably a lot of the other components that were back here, this one is I just don't understand that. Like, if this thing really is worth $25,000 and you're looking at $18,500 out the door before you even start fixing it, how much is it worth salvage? Like, where are people coming up with these numbers from? I like, cars are just going ridiculously expensive. That's all there is to it. Next on my list, that's right, the 1994 Chevy Caprice Classic. You guys already know who got this one. We got this one, man. This belongs to us now. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. It seems a lot of you are kind of torn on this car. Some of you really love it because, nostalgia reasons, man. It takes you back to being younger, back when we were all kind of in the prime of our lives instead of being old 40-somethings. Anyway, I don't want to think about that. Let's focus on the car, right? Some of you really love it, and some of you think it should just be sent down the road. Personally, I'll be honest with you, I'm still torn on it. Part of me thinks this is a great car to just flip and send down the road, and part of me thinks, this would be a wonderful car to just put back together and make really nice. But it is pretty rough, guys. No lie, this car is pretty rough. In case you missed the videos on this car, I'll go ahead and show this one to you real quick. Excellent tires, Firestones all the way around. Lots of hail damage on the hood, on the roof, and on the trunk. So the hood would need replaced, the trunk would need replaced, the roof would need a filler on the dents. There are dings around the rest of the car. The trunk was not closing. Something was going on with it. I took a hammer and I banged on the hood latch on the bottom part of the trunk here. I gave it a few good whacks, and the trunk closes just fine now. So the interior is, it's okay, but, again, really nothing to write home about. She's got the wrong engine. Nobody's interested in this. And I've had a lot of people arguing with me about what engine this car has. Everybody swears that this car has a 5.7 LT1, and I'm with you. I made that mistake too. I thought it was an LT1. It looks like an LT1. It is not an LT1. And I'm telling you, before you guys comment, please do yourselves a favor and go to google.com and type in 94 Chevy Caprice 4.3 V8. Okay, that's right. Look right here. Engine type 4.3 liter V8. Yes, GM made a 4.3 liter V6, but in these Caprices, for a very limited time, in the LSs only, they came with a 4.3 liter, not a 5.0, not a 5.7. The LS came with a 4.3 V8 that has 200 horsepower, but it does get pretty dang good fuel economy. So as far as mileage is concerned, we don't know the miles because, as you can see here, the cluster does not work. My guess would be maybe 120. I would guess between 120 and 150. That would be my guess. But, for all we know, it's got 250. These cars run and drive forever. So I really wouldn't be surprised if it's got over 200,000 on it. Maybe I should run a Carfax and see if we can find any historical data on it. Now, it says the estimated retail value is $5,000. Somehow I doubt that. Estimated repair cost. This is another interesting thing. $3,763, but for what? What's the... I still don't know, other than a crack in the bumper, what damage this car really has. Yeah, definitely a little confused about that. Now, you'll notice that this one does not run and drive and does not start. Could be due to a dead battery or other major issues. So, as you guys saw in the very first video, we put a boost pack on it. It fired right up, and as you saw in the video of me taking delivery of it, the car runs and drives flawless. I'm honestly, considering how rough the car is, mechanically, it's like somebody took exceptional care of it. It runs and drives absolutely perfect. And you can see we won it for $625. Came out to about $850 out the door. And you can look at some comparable cars and you can see this one sold for $100 2 years ago. This one sold for $300. I'm kind of curious about the one that sold for $100 though. I'm curious if I got a good deal. Ooh. Okay, that one's toast. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Oh man. Yeah, these were heavy rear and very heavy rear end damage. You can see what's crazy though is, like, look at the creases on the quarters of these. They are so bad, but yet the rear bumper is in perfect condition. These are plastic bumpers, guys. Let me tell you something. They are tough as nails, man. They are tough as nails. This one had 55,000 miles on it. 55,000 miles. It's an LS, so this will also have the 4.3 liter. Ooh, good night, man. Wow. Oh, beautiful interior. It would almost be worth trying to find another one, a parts car, because of how cheap these are. Parts are going to cost me to put mine back together if I wanted to, make it really nice. Parts are probably going to cost me about $500. If I can buy a whole dang car for $300, that would kind of make a lot more sense. Yeah, again, mine doesn't have any creases in the quarters or anything. It's nothing like that. The damage looks like it's nothing more than just a cracked bumper. So, I don't know. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's move on to the next one. Last one on the list was the 2008 Infiniti. What was it? An FX35, I believe it was. This one is still on approval. It's pending. That's kind of bizarre. Normally, this would have been over with by now. This is the one I really didn't give this a chance at all. I don't even think we tried to start it or anything. I think I just kind of looked at it and was like, not interested. That's probably not fair, because honestly, if I can give an old school Chevy Caprice some attention, I think I could have given the FX35 a little bit of attention as well. 169,000 miles on the odometer. It was a repossession. That I did not know. So that's another good thing about this. You can come onto this website and you can see if it was a repo, if it was a salvage, or what the deal was with it. Runs and drives, engine starts, has keys. So this may have been a decent deal for $2,750. You guys will have to tell me below. I don't know what the value of these are. I'm not really into Infinitis. Maybe that was a good deal. I don't know. Look, here's some that are wrecked for $3,000, and this one was $2,700, and it doesn't appear to be wrecked at all. Anyway, this was the last one. Unfortunately, I ran out of time, and I ran out of patience, honestly, to be able to go through any more. We did look at a lot of ATVs. We looked at a lot of motorcycles and a few other things here and there, but those were not ones that were on my list. So I can only show you the auction results for the cars that are on the list that I still have in front of me. So that is it. Definitely drop your comments down below. Tell me which cars you think were good deals and which cars you think were horrible deals. I've got my own opinions on that. But drop your comments below. If you enjoyed the content, hit the thumbs up button. Let YouTube know that you liked the video. Again, big shout out and thank you to AutoAuctions.io for allowing us to use their service to check these cars out and bring these cool videos to you. I'm telling you, if you're not using them yet, you definitely need to go check them out. Link in the description down below. Click on the link, check them out, double check your next purchase using AutoAuctions.io. It could save you a ton of money, and you could see pictures of what your car looked like maybe before you got your hands on it. I think it's useful information. With that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to catching you all very soon in the next one.